Okay, it's Tuesday, a week and a day after I've gotten this thing. I'm still not done, and I know this video is going to be really, really long, but I want to go over what I have done so far to the lathe. I even wrote a list because I'm kind of forgetful, so I'm going to grab that here. So yesterday, Dad came over, and he helped me do a bunch of cleaning. That was really nice force multiplier. Saved me plenty of time. We I think I said this yesterday, got the hydraulic filled up. It's running actually more quiet now, which is nice. Obviously the front is very clean. There's some stains from just coolant or cleaner dripping down. The door switch is bad, I found out, so I have it set to unlock on the, there's a little key. It looks like this. You just stick this key behind the sensor or the switch up there, and I don't know why this isn't focusing, but and you just turn it to unlock, and that'll keep it in the unlock state. Oh yeah, I cleaned in there. That's nice and way cleaner. It was disgusting in there. I still need to clean in there. This box is very clean now, which is awesome. That's the drop tray that sits right in front of the parts catcher. So that'll go like that. Parts will get thrown into there. I basically stripped a lot of the paint off in here, any loose paint. I don't want any loose paint falling into the coolant, so that's why that looks like that. Not to worry. Any bare surfaces I coated with LPS3, which is a pretty thick rust preventative. I still need to clean the way covers in here, just some general cleaning in here. New light bulb. Regasketed that. I haven't actually seen the spindle turn yet, which is, you may say, is a stupid maneuver, and I also haven't figured out how to get the tool turret to turn, but I have seen both of them work and cutting parts, so I'm not entirely too worried. We also rough leveled it yesterday. We used the back way, the top way, and set the level center on that. So that seemed to get us pretty roughed in. I have to figure out how to, I guess, level the turret or center the turret and level or check that the main and the sub line up. I'm not entirely sure or versed on how to do that, so that'll be coming to pass at some point. Let's see. So we got something really cool. I do not think I recorded it a little bit yesterday. This front cabinet, actually, this entire front cabinet on this side is on a hinge, which is right here, those hinges. And we were trying to figure out how to actually lift the cabinet up, so obviously it'll lift up on the hinges and move it. So we had like a pry bar, we're prying up the corner, and it's only those hinges and this one bolt right up here. See that under the open switch? I'll point to it. This guy right here. That's the only thing holding this entire cabinet. And there is a lip down here, right here, that's resting up against this sheet metal. But basically, we struggled and moved that, and we were worried it was going to fall over. So we only opened it a little bit of the way. But I found out yesterday, we were wondering what this was, this set screw type device. This is actually, you turn this down and it'll pick the door up off the hinge, so you can safely move it. And this one's missing, so I need to get another one of those. But I thought that was kind of a cool feature. I've never seen that. So you just crank this with a ratchet and it'll start to move the door upwards. And once it clears that sheet metal an inch, you can swing the door all the way out. And from what I could tell, there's provisions for allowing it to do that. There's enough hose back here in the hydraulic sub spindle hydraulic cabinet, and from what I can tell, there's enough slack in the control cabinet lines to actually allow it to swing out like that for normal cleaning or maintenance, which is really awesome. I've never seen that. So moving back, still need to clean some fingerprints up off here. Took the back cabinet off. This is what the back of the machine looks like, if you were curious, and since you're still watching, you might be curious. This is obviously the X motor, as evident by the X. Big honkin' boy in there. These are the Z limit switches. This is what I was having a problem with. So I actually got in here, put my back up against that, and pushed this that way when it was off to get it off the hard limit. That's that one, I guess. Yeah, cleaned up here, and you know, basically all the mechanics of the machine look very, very healthy from what we can tell. There's the ZX's ball screw. ZX's motor's down there. It is supposed to be red. It is covered in metallic dust. And I guess I'll walk over there and talk about that. Let's see. This is the coolant pump power line. We had to wrap up. Unfortunately, the way the line was routed was through the casting, and the only way to get it separated was to cut the wires away from the motor. Now, this was fine and dandy because I took pictures of the colors and where they correspond to the motor, but what was not fine and dandy was me finding out that the motor wires are all black. So that doesn't help me whatsoever. And in the picture, I don't have the wire numbers properly shown, like the if they were decaled at all. So that'll be fun. Get the pump spinning backwards and destroy the pump or something when the coolant tank is back together. So anyways, that's the going. I was trying to figure out if it is possible to get coolant through the turret. I'm almost certain there is, or there is a provision for doing it. The manual seems to say there is. So this is the coolant line that is supposed to go to the tank. Now notice that is obviously unhooked. There is no tank or motor or pump. Now that line goes up here, around back, around the sheet metal. Here's the electrical cabinet. Probably don't need to see in there, but it's relatively clean. So that line comes around here. This is the obviously where the magic happens. It wraps right here and goes to the cutting area out there, and this is the lamp box right here. So interestingly enough, that's all the coolant system there is. There's one line into those hoses. And yeah, I'd really like to get through turret or through tool block coolant. So if anybody has ever done that or retrofitted that or something, then let me know. I'm figuring if there's not a rotary union type thing inside the turret already, it's probably not worth the hassle. So interestingly enough, this thing right here is a brake disc, or a disc brake, hydraulic disc brake, with the friction material off the pads. That's what all this gray paste-like stuff is. So what I imagine happened is the spindle brake eventually ran out of friction material and then got drug along on this disc right here, you know, disc brakes, and tossed that pasty metallic crap everywhere. And that's why the motor's got it on it, and it's pretty nasty stuff. So I just hope, I'm sure nothing long term. I'm sure what happened is it started to squeal really bad and they just pulled it off. But I would like to get a hydraulic cap for it. I don't know why they didn't just do that. Local stores have them. You know, you just cap it off the manifold. It's not a big deal. So I got to do that. Let's see what else back here. Interestingly enough, leveling it, there's only 3 leveling feet on the main casting here, this big part, and there's 2 up front, and so it's a triangle. You got 1 here, 1 there, 1 there on this back part, and then on the front, far left front, and then far right, like closer to us. That was a terrible description, but you kind of get what I'm saying. So there's 5 feet, so that makes it interesting. What else? Yeah, so it's kind of a pain to reach the leveling feet. Air system. So I had an error that wouldn't clear, and it was partially caused by both the air system and the bar feeder not being plugged in. That's the bar feeder plug right there. Hold on, I gotta switch batteries. Alright, so as I was saying, that's the bar feeder hookup right here. That's the electrical power. So obviously just power the machine, and electrical power will go through there and power the bar feeder, so you don't need to run a separate line. The air system leaks, like, pretty bad. It's a little rigged looking, if you will. Here's your input, and then there's a push to lock fitting. that goes back here and then hooks to this line. Well, it doesn't really fit because there's the filter hits it, and yeah, and I'm not entirely sure what happened, but what I imagine happened is this was sitting here. So see these two holes right here? Even got a nice little data plate. Well, I'm gonna guess that this line that goes between here started leaking, and instead of just getting a replacement line, they just moved the filter over and then cut the line where it was leaking and plugged it back in. Because their new mounting location is not, it's not level. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. Well, you probably can't tell based on this, but the filter is not level whatsoever, and it bothers me very much, and it just looks like crap. So I ordered up, it appears to be metric push to connect airline. So I measured it up, and then I ordered some on McMaster. So McMaster's the greatest. So that'll be coming tomorrow. I can finally move this filter and clean up this area because it looks like complete garbage. I also don't know if this machine requires oil to be added to the air or if it wants it dry. Typically, from what I know, that machines like dry air, but I have to, I guess, consult the manual and see for sure. So yeah, that's about it for now. I need to run another air line up and over from the compressor room over there, come up and over on another splitter, and make a drop around here somewhere because we got that air, and then the bar feeder needs a substantial amount of air too. And I also need to change all the fluids in the bar feeder. I guess it's there's a hydraulic tank, and I'm pretty sure that's not been changed either. Well, when we changed the hydraulic fluid in this tank, it actually quieted it up quite a bit, so that was cool. And yeah. What else? I think that's it for now. I guess yeah, hold on, I'll walk around the front. Something else to talk about. So in the manual, there is a tool measuring arm that does not exist here. I'm assuming it comes out of this plate that's blocked up here. And I wonder if it had one at one point and they broke it off, because there are a bunch of loose wires back behind the in that spindle area. I guess I should have shown you guys that. Just see that bundle, electrical taped bundle right there? And the panel is basically under that coolant line. So I'm kind of wondering if it had a tool measuring arm and they broke it off. And yeah, it would be nice to have that, because it does, the manual shows it's stowing up in the corner, so it's not in the way. You don't have to install it. But yeah, if not, I mean, you know, how hard is it to manually touch off tools, you know? So yeah, that's the big update, and I'm gonna continue to do whatever I said at the beginning of the video, which I forgot what that was. I think I'm gonna check if the spindle works. And yeah, I'll keep you guys obviously updated. Okay, so I've been messing with this for about 2 hours now, and I finally figured out how to both turn the turret and get the spindle turning. So let's see, there's the information on Fanuc stuff is not as straightforward as, you know, the Haas. Obviously, that's why Haas has got popular with the kids. So yeah, let's see. I was having a problem figuring out how to get the spindle to turn, and I've finally figured it out. So the first thing I was doing was I couldn't figure out how to do any MDI stuff, which was fantastic. So on this control, or this machine, this is a 2004 Kia Turn 15 LMS. Basically, we're gonna pull the e-stop here. We're gonna hold standby forever. Okay, that's going to clear that alarm. So then we're good to go. You need to make sure originally you zero returned your axes. I had to reset the software parameters for where X and Z 0 was, I guess. And you do that by doing, you hold P and man, what was it? Delete? P and can, I think. Please, don't do P and delete. Anyways, you cycle start the control by holding those two, and that reset that. So that cleared that problem. And then, so for this, I couldn't figure out how to actually get the thing to work. I would type in like, all right, so let's say for instance we come from jog, right? So we jog the machine, and then I want to do MDI. So you hit MDI. That'll change your screen to MDI. And then, yeah, so I was doing M03, like S500, and then I would hit, I didn't know if I was supposed to put input or insert, and it's insert, and then so you'd get this line, and then I'm like, okay, cool, hit the green button, and literally nothing would happen. It was just literally nothing. And I was like, what the heck? So, yeah, I messed around for a while trying to figure out if I was in the right place. So we're going to delete this. Delete this guy. So you're on here, like on the Haas, it'll automatically end of block for you, and you're supposed to manually put in the end of block. So that's what I was doing wrong. So on this, you can do S500 or M03, whatever way, and I thought you needed a space, you don't, so you can do M03, S500. You got to hit the end of block button, which is right here. That'll give you your little end of block thing. Then you hit insert. Cool, we got our program now. And then we're gonna shut this, at least a little bit. And then you hit the go button right here. Right here. And nothing's happening now. Well, you can see I'm still learning, so maybe I got it backwards. Hold on. Okay, so I thought about it for about 15 seconds, and I wonder if you have to zero return it after you hit the E-stop, because that's what I just did. So I think we're going to try that. You hit the jog button, then hit zero return, make sure nothing's going to explode. Okay, we got our lights back, so I'm going to try that again. We go to MDI, and we're already here. Hit the green button. Okay, yeah, that's definitely what it was. Alright, cool. So now you can see that the spindle is turning. This is a 16C, and something really interesting I found out. So I'm going to reset this. I was getting a AL27 clamp error, I think is what the alarm was. And I couldn't figure out what the deal was, and so I'm like messing with this clamp up here. This is for the sub spindle, so that has nothing to do with the main. And I'm like, where is the clamp error? I was like, it's got to do something with the fact that it's not clamping. So I went and found the 16C and tossed something in there. I figured maybe it was looking for a certain clamp pressure or something. I don't know anything about lathes, obviously. And it turned out that I needed to hit the foot pedal. That's down here. Oops. That's down here. Apparently, that is the switch for the clamp, or for the, you know, have it clamped in and out. And then also, I had the work grip backwards. So apparently, external means externally inwards based on these arrows. So yeah, you hit the foot pedal, and you have to be in jog mode to hit the foot pedal to get it to do anything. So that was another thing. So you can see there's a lot of, I'm learning as I go, and you know the manuals for these things are not very helpful. They're written in Korean English, so that's cool. So that was that problem. We fixed that, and then I still need to bolt that to the machine, clearly, and my priorities are backwards. So now I want to talk about something interesting I have discovered. So we're going to, again, make sure we're an MDI program. We're going to we'll do it backwards this time. M03, end of block, insert. We're going to hit OK. Cool. You know what's awesome? I talk about my power problems, and so far I've done a 2500 RPM pull, and I actually didn't even see the lights flicker, which is awesome. I was hoping that because this machine's a little bit older, the spindle's a little bit slower, if you get what I mean. Like, it doesn't want to pull a ton of current on startup for speed, and more of a torquey kind of thing. And I haven't really seen the lights flicker in the garage, which is awesome, even with the compressor running. So I'm actually really hopeful that I won't have any power issues running this thing.